Good day today, 10/8 of 2012, and today earnings season starts with Alcoa. But what we're showing here is the 60-minute daily chart, meaning that each candle is 60 minutes. And yes, we had previously talked about in our live analysis the previous day in our live videos on the website about 626. We came down to the lows today, and they did it at 624.10. And we just came from 624.10 all the way to 640.49. As that is how this name operates and trades, and market makers make markets. They took it from $705 down to the 624.10. On a 60-minute level, here, I'll put this up here in front of Google. And that markets are finally getting a correction in some of the individual names. This one was one. And we called for it for one reason. Because once again, many times in a row, they've done this over and over. And they did it again today so far. That means that when we got down here on that 60-minute chart, we were at 5.52% on a DS, where the high frequency buy side, and they're called trading software bots, that came in here and then they ran it right back up here to this major pivot line. But nonetheless, mathematically, they got this bottom in here. That means that in this very short term that we have finally hit our destiny. Just as we hit the destiny at 705 on the highs before it ever got there. Told people 705 got up there slightly intraday, closes around 702 and something. But nonetheless, we've had that big shakeout in Apple. So if fund managers were going to want to chase this name, they would rather much own it down here, but a lot of people don't, or even in the price area that it is now. If they really believe in forward-looking earnings and the rollout, there's a lot of rumors out. And when rumors get out, what happens is high-frequency trading models change. They can sell right through these bids and run these things down to these extreme lows before they have these big bounces where you want to be the buyer right here always. The call contracts here, which we own, it's a 680 call. It's 11/17/2012. 13.75 was the close. They took them down to $3.34 range. They go out till November now. It's way up and out of the money, yeah. The thing about it is, yes, there is time premium, and yes, they won't be as volatile. So for my newer people that are just starting, these are some of the kinds of things that we do. But we trade the shorter term contract right here. We trade these contracts right here on the weekly level that went from 14.10, and when they got this down to 624, look at how they stole all the premium out of that. And then they just ran them back from the lows when that stock ran up to those highs from that low, $16.39 range. It took the volatility of the calls back up after they took out all the premium all the way down to get the level of entry within the actual trading range. And one thing about making markets is that in a very short term, that when you put in that bottom there, that the pullback will be stronger at the support levels, because on the way down in the short, that robot high frequency trading model took out all the stop levels all the way down. So therefore, it's very important for you to remember that in a very short term, has Apple put a bottom in its range? And we can take a look right here on the MMT platform on an intraday level outside of that 60-minute level. We can clearly see that on the opening bell, how these stops were taken all the way down in our system. This is a market maker platform. But once we got that bottom, look at here mathematically. Look at the ascending diamond bots going higher. And then pulling back and then holding the expansion from the lows and then continuing to pop higher. But every time they pull back and test, look at the diamond pops come right back in the movements. We made it up here. If you go back over here, that's right where it all started. Now, For this name to continue to go higher, that means that when it does have its pullbacks in these areas, that they start making markets from these lows and working their way back up in the price channel. Because if the price supports hold, that means that pullbacks would be significantly stronger than pullbacks going in this way. Okay, and pullbacks like this are strong and bounce and make higher highs for reasons. Everything that you're taught using this MMT application in directional intraday price movement. But how do I build a base or a floor? That's what this 60 minutes about right here. And the thing about it is there's a wall of resistance. But the pullbacks would be stronger because of the amount of intraday reversal from the swing low to that current. Right now we're in the last hour of the market, and we just had made that high just a few minutes ago at 640.49. And once again, let's go back and revisit that high. It's right here. Look at the diamond resistances, but look at the pullbacks. This is 1, 2, about 3 teenies. But when these pullbacks pull back, as they should, but when they test, they make higher highs moving forward outside of today. That the price volatility will remain, as we said it would, from 705 down to the 624. But then look at the upside day volatility, is that when you come up and hit that price, it's going to be all about how many dollar or how many hundreds of pennies, which equal dollars, that you pull back from the high. Right now I'm 200 pennies. This one's normally, if it's going to be strong, it pulls back 300 pennies, it gets support level, and then bid pops and you make higher highs. Because the pullbacks will be stronger, yes, there will be volatility, but when the volatility comes down to the support level because of the amount of dollar price movement off of that bottom, we would get support and build a stronger price area. Okay, and we're watching just how it prints on the pullback on this 3-minute chart. Not only that, when we take a look at the brain, right here we're at 83. We're only minus 0.5. We were minus 128. That equaled 20.43 teenies, minus $14.62. That's what they were minus, and they came back up the same directional price movement. So that these pullbacks in here within the volatility would hit their support levels, and those support levels would be strong because of the amount of dollars off of the bottom to the current bid and ask right here, as you can see in the level 2 here. And you can see that if this goes below 75, the prices will get weak and come down some. And we're minus 10 right here. So if this is going, this has to go back toward being positive right here. So as long as it goes towards 0 here, we will find that that support level, that these pullbacks, that we're doing this live right now, so that my new MMTs can understand that this type of trade with this kind of name, once we really got down to our very lower end target, believe me, we didn't break the 620 down to 616 area. However, in the very shorter term, the amount of selling is where we're going to measure the big money. Our mutual fund managers wanting to buy that didn't participate, time to get in. Hedge fund managers too. You want to buy it before the earnings? Well, there's your pullback before the earnings. So what did Apple do? Apple's gone from 705 all the way so far down to 624 and up today, sure. But you know what it was doing? If there was going to be something that they didn't like in the earnings, it was trying to price it in. And that is the gift of knowing the difference. There's your closing price. There's your pullback. This has got to get above 85. This is going at 0.4. When it gets to 0.0 and starts going back positive to 0.20, well, then that's how you'll break the highs. And it's all done intraday. Thank you, MMTs, for understanding stronger pullbacks after a big day of selling.